This is Damon Stevens, FinWealth Builders. Today is Monday, January 17th, 2022, and this is a stock market prep for the week. We have a short week coming up, 4 days. And so we want to be prepared for this week and what it'll bring. It's also options expiration week as well. So expect some volatility in the market as well as where we're at with our critical support levels being tested. It could definitely be a wild ride. So be careful when trading. And just know that the things we're discussing today are all day trades right now with the market where it's at. So keep that in mind as we get in here, and let's kind of get into the charts and take a look at what's going on in the market and how we can trade it this week. So just kind of look at the closure for last week. Dow Jones was closed down 0.56%. NASDAQ closed on Friday up 0.59%, and S&P 500 up 0.08%. So very interesting day. You can see that Dow Jones kind of pretty much was kind of holding across the board as far as, opened up a little bit, pulled back down, and then looks like it really closed kind of flat. If you look at NASDAQ, you can see here just kind of chop back and forth. And that's what you got to be careful for. But if you got this little bottom here, 147, and rode it up here, you had a nice ride up here into the close of the day. The same with SPY, nice ride up here. So if you're scalping or you're day trading, definitely a lot of opportunity with this volatility. So it's great. SBEV also, we had one that hit 118%. That's what we look for on the scanner. So that was an opportunity for a trade as well. Let's kind of get into the charts after we look at the heat map here. So the heat map, you can see pretty mixed. FANG stocks pulled back, gained a little bit back from their pull down. And you can see energy, it continues to be really strong. And we'll talk about that in our charts as well. But we'll see if the FANG stocks, they're at critical resistance levels now. And also they're sitting, right above support levels. So really important levels here for us to find out what's going to happen with tech. Also, what's happening with energy. With energy so elevated right now, we'll get into some charts and talk about what the opportunities are there, but something to be careful about as well as we hit these new highs. So looking at SBEV here, so you see here, so we gapped up, or you actually had a little ride up here on the open. $1.86 was the low. You hit the top of this trend line here at 330, pull back down. So you had a resting point here. We had a chance, you could have got in. It kind of pretty much was flat most of the day. But at the end of the day, we got a nice little rally here, a little pop up here, from 270. If you missed the first one, 270, clear up to 434, so even higher. Broke clear past our trend line here. Gave us a nice ride up here to 434, pull back down, rode the trend line pretty much the rest of the close here when we pull back down here. We're above the 20, so this is all after hours here. So looking to see if we can get this another bump here on Tuesday. So you see here that we're pulling below it. So let's see if we can ride back up here, or it could just trend sideways here. But this is our upper trend line. That's what we want to pay attention to. We start to break down below the 20, just know we come down to the 50. So we'll see if we get more than one day out of this SBEV, but something to watch for. CAT, we've had a nice run up with CAT. CAT continues to just kind of grind up here. You can see it hit our trend line back here in January 7th, and pulled back to the bottom of our trend line, rode back up to 227.88, then pulled back down to our trend line again at 223. So you can see this little squeeze going on. So this little wedge is going to break out here soon. And then you can see here we hit the trend line again, then pull back to the 50, back up to the trend line, and tried to break through it here. And it looks like it was trying to hold. And it was almost looked like it was going to fail, but then it pulled back up here. And so close the week up above this trend line. So we could definitely start here to see a rally up here towards 220 or 230 up to 250 here, possibly. But just be careful if you're trading this one, though. We are, we're above the trend line, which, very well could pull back down into here to this little wedge here, or the pattern here. But for right now, it looks like it's trying to do a breakout here. So if it does break out here, possibly CAT can, right up here to new highs. So something to watch for. LRCX2, you can see here that hit our trend line at 730, pull clear back to 683 at the bottom of the trend line on this expanding wedge, and came back up here. And this was another opportunity to get in here. Broke our resistance line, came up. We're sitting right at the 730 area. So this could be a potential to ride back up here to the top of our trend line here. and that would be around 740, 741. So it could ride up to here this week, hopefully, and tag our top of our trend line, and then could possibly pull back as it did in the past. Or, it could fail here too, because we're right kind of even. So we've got to see a breakout above the 730, 731 level. If we do, we got to rally up to 741 possibly before we have a pullback or hit resistance again. If we fail to break and hold above 731, then very likely we're going to pull back here and at least come down to 719, if not down to the 50. So we're the 20 sitting right here, right on our support line here. So we'll see. You got to watch for the breakout or the breakdown. So let's watch for that coming into Tuesday and see if we have another opportunity here with LRCX. So KLAC. See here, we're riding up towards those highs. Highs 456.64 on the last time we hit our trend line, upper trend line. Just came off of our lower trend line at 420. So we're about halfway. So this is a little danger level here. I mean, you're in a level here where you could easily break down, back down, or you could, continue to rally back up towards the highs. So something to be careful with when you're right here in the middle. If we have a play below 442, definitely going to pull back down here, possibly back down to the 20. If we can break above, 447, 448, this little breakdown candle, we could ride all the way up to the top of this breakdown candle and possibly to the highs. So definitely watching this one for, direction and continuation here, possibly on KLAC on Tuesday. Looking at our oil and gas, our energies, which are doing great here. You can see actually, Conoco, we talked about this last week as it was coming up here, that it was possibly going to tag this and possibly find support. And you see it kind of broke above it, came back down, tagged it, and then rallied up here. So this is like a classic breakout where it comes in, checks in, and then rallies. So, where do we go from here? Well, we're elevated above the 5, we're above our trend line, so we're kind of in no man's land. So just be careful if you're trading this out here. We're around 87 level. Could hit 90, could hit 92, could be even higher. But also be careful that if this fails, it could come back to our support line or break back down through if it has not received enough support here. So just got to watch the volume, and we've got to see if we can get a continuation here. So if you're trading this one, just be careful. It is elevated, but that doesn't mean it can't go higher. And the same goes for Exxon as well. The charts looks almost identical. So if you're trading Exxon, just be careful because we're very elevated. AVGO, this one we've been tracking for months in several weeks here, and we hit a high and talked about a possible pullback, and that's exactly what's happened. We did break the 50, which I do not like. I was hoping that we'd find support and maybe double bottom and bounce off. We've not. We're having, failure. So that means we could possibly be coming down to 563. If we don't break above 601 on Tuesday, I'm going to look at possibly shorting this. So if I got to break above 601, 602, I'll be looking to rally back up here, hopefully towards at least 618. If we do not, and it continues to fail, and we get below 590, I'm looking for a short here, possibly down to this 100, which is around 563 today. So just something to be aware of, and see what ends up rolling on this this AVGO. Facebook, nice choppy back and forth. So be really careful with this one. This one would be a scalper's dream. So just be careful. We got good movement. Multiple points that you can grab. I mean, if you grab one point on this stock, it's $1 on here. It's pretty good. So, I'd stay away from this one unless you're, a scalper. Apple, you can see here, we continue to see that, we had this nice rally up here above our trend line twice now, kind of a double top there, pulled back here down to 50, possibly be coming down here to a double bottom as well, around the 668. So just be careful. It was good that it rallied up and closed the day on the high on the candle rather than the lows. So it shows a tendency to possibly try to break out, but just be careful if you're trading this one. It could catch you off guard. All right, so for Tesla, looking at Tesla here, you can see that we've been in this downtrend broke out, came back into this trend line here, and just kind of been back and forth above the 50 here. So you can see we closed up above the 50 again and right on the edge of this trend line. So do we break back out again like we did before, head up to 1200, or we're going to break back down here and possibly go down to this 940 level here on the 100? So we got to watch for this breakout tomorrow and see if we get momentum. If we break above the 20, which is sitting here around 1069, then look for a rally back up here towards at least 1100. And if we can hold 1100, then we could work our way back up towards, this maybe 127 level, and then possibly 1200. If we don't, and we actually break back down below the 50 here at, closer to 1000, then we could possibly be breaking down this 1080 level. So just be careful with this, and as we come in the trade, and make sure you're trading in the direction that the stock is moving. All right, so looking at Amazon's really pulled back here quite a bit on us. Seen a lot of weakness here. Had a huge rally. You can see here, just almost $100 move, and then rally back up towards the 20, and then a failure, and came back down about $100. And then again on the end of the week, we pull back down here towards the lows here on our support line, and then bounce back up here, so to resistance. So something to watch for here is on Amazon is it's still very bearish. It's below all the moving averages, so just watch that this could continue to break down here. If it does break back down below our resistance line here at 32.26, we could be coming down to this 31.76 level, or even down to 31.26. If we can break back above at least the 5 here at 32.62, we possibly could rally back up this breakdown candle back towards our trend lines. But right now we are out of the trend lines. We're below all the moving averages, and so that's very bearish. So just be careful if you're trading Amazon. All right, so for government bonds for the 10-year yield, as you can see here, we did hit some resistance here, and it kind of stopped at this 1.8 level. So this is still extremely high. If we, this could be a deterrent for the markets to move higher. So something to watch for. Really would like to see this back under 1.16. If we got this back to below 1.6, then it definitely helps support this rally. So definitely elevated right now. So this is where you just got to be cautious. That's why I said, it's more of a day trade than a swing trade or long-term trading right now, at least for me. You can always, obviously, this is not financial advice. You can trade any way you want to. But for me, I'm just day trading right now until the market shows a clear direction that it's back in a bullish momentum. And we'll talk about the SPY and kind of where it's at. But right now, just gotta be really careful with the market. Looking at U.S. oil just continue to do well. You can see here we're kind of up here at resistance here, where we've kind of hit resistance before several days. So we're there again. So just be careful. This could be a very well a pull back here to try to find support for 84. It'd be easy for us to pull back down to this $80.40 level, possibly, to find support again. You can see that's kind of where it kind of broke out before. So just watch out. This could be weak. It could be pulled back here, but we also have our trend line clear up at 93. So could we rally? We first got to get probably above this 85 level. So if we have a break above 85, look for, maybe a continuation to 88, 89, and then possibly another pullback a little bit, and then rally back up to 93. If we break back down below this 83 level, we could be coming back down here to at least 80, the 80 level, possibly a little bit lower down to the 20. So just gotta watch this level that we're at right now, and make sure that you confirm whether we're breaking back up above 85 or breaking back down lower. The dollar, you can see the dollar pulled below, found support off this 100 and pulled back in, and just closed in right above the trend line. So it was able to, the dollar was able to kind of recover and get back into this channel again. So we'll see if it can start to rally up. It may rally up here from here. So there could be an opportunity here for the dollar, for those who are trading futures and the dollar currency index. possibly for right up here, but otherwise, just be careful here. Just make sure you have a confirmed breakout because this is only one day. So we want to see at least another day in there before we know that we're going to rally back again. The VIX, you can see the VIX kind of rallied, it popped back up here at almost to 22, as you see here, and then it kind of pulled back down here, down to the 20. So it's sitting on the 20, which, is not good. We really want this below all the moving averages. That's why you just got to be really cautious. A lot of volatility you can see here with the VIX, which, obviously is going to roll over into the SPY. So just be careful here. As long as we stay below 20, it's good for the market to rally. If it's gets back above here and stays above 20, then we can start to see, either the market flat or possibly pull back a little bit. If it gets above 25 and back up here where it was before, then we could be in a stock market correction. So really watching the VIX, it's one of the charts I have on all the time to watch for a reversal, either in the upside or the downside. So just keep an eye on the VIX, and it'll help you to kind of understand where the direction of the market's going. For SPY, so you can see here, we've tagged our bottom trend line here close to 100 several times before. Back in October 2021, we tagged it again here in December, and we tagged it again in mid-December, and then again in January 10th, and now again on January 14th. And we rallied back up here. So every time you can see, this was a long, nice rally here. You see here, this was kind of short term and pulled back, after a couple of weeks, we had this, run down and then a pullback and then a bounce, which is almost like a double bottom. But then we come back here. This is almost like a double bottom again. So that's where, you got to watch the SPY, you got to watch the VIX. If we can get, above this, hold above this 465 level, and then hit, up to 470 and break above 470, I think we can rally back up, in a bullish momentum, hopefully to 472.36 and then above this candle. So you got this big breakdown candle. This is what we got to get above. And that could take, one day, it could take 3 days. It could, fail and just go into chop here as well. So just something to be cautious about, but looking for a breakout above the 465 level. If not, we could be coming down to 455. So just be careful on the SPY. Triple Qs, you can see triple Qs. So they pulled below the trend line here. You see it's below the 100. So it's actually weaker than the SPY right now. Really need to get back above this 100 moving average and above, 382 level. If we get above the 382 level, then we can possibly start to rally above all the moving averages. But right now, we're sitting just above the trend line. We broke it twice. The 200 sitting here down here at 364. So we'll see if we can hold this level. We really need to hold this and move higher if we want to keep maintain the triple Qs in a a forward momentum direction. So just be careful if you're on there. Make sure that we stay above this 379, 378 level. If we break this and start to break down, then the level is that this 200 down here at 364, and we also have a gap fill down below that too. So we could even drop even lower. So something to be cautious about, and make sure you're watching that Qs. Semiconductor SMH. So you can see here, kind of a back and forth. We got a range kind of that we're staying in between 288, 318. So it's a broad enough range you can trade it, but just be careful of these pullbacks. You can see that where you can have short traders and long-term traders all getting kind of shook out of their positions. So if you're holding long, it's great. You just let it ride. If you're not, if you're swinging trading or day trading or what have you, try not to get in this chop back and forth day to day, because it'll just eat your account. So Dow Jones, nice rally up here. We had a nice strong rally going up to 369.50, and then a rejection after the second day, pulling back down to the bottom of our trend line, which is an ascending, which actually is a expanding wedge. You see here, we're expanding out here. We've hit down here just below, this close to this 50 moving average a couple of times, and then again on the end of the week we hit it, but we rallied up to the top of it. So we're sitting here at 359, really trying to get back above this 360 level. we got kind of a support level here on this candle at 359. So if we can stay above 359, hopefully get above 361, then we can start to rally back up here. If we break below and hold below this 50, which is sitting here right currently at 358, we could rally back down here we could be pulling back down here to 354. If we break 354, then you have the 200 down here at 350, 345.22. So that would be a huge drop. So hopefully we don't get that momentum dropping on the Dow Jones. Hopefully we can hold here. It did bounce, you can see, off of our trend line and the 50. So that should provide good support, hopefully, to rally off of here. But just something to be aware of where our support lines are right now, which we're currently just above them. IWM, you can see here, almost like a triple bottom now. So we have almost a triple bottom here. So looking for a breakout. We also have a descending triangle here. So looking for a breakout and somewhere above, this 215 level. And if we so, then 221 and then 222 and then back up to 225. If we do break below this 212 level, then we could be coming down here to 208. So just be aware of that. This could continue to descend. Right now, we're not seeing a breakout confirmation or anything right now. XLF, the financials. So financials pulled back here again, and you can see here it found support, kind of rallied back above the 10, but it's below the 5. So we'll see what it can do. It's above the 20 as well. So see if we can rally back up here and find some opportunities to on the financial side to make some money. Bitcoin, you see Bitcoin, we have this huge pullback here. Tried to rally back up here. It was looking pretty good. Got resistance here at 44 for a couple of days and then pulled back down, and now we're back to 42. If we broke below 40, we could be coming down even lower to 38 or 37. So just something to be aware of. Looking at WiFi, so WiFi here has dropped quite a bit, so just something to be aware of. Let me pull up it in US dollars. I just noticed it's not on here. So you can see here that we, after hitting this high up here, just right here, around just under 40,000, which we were at before back here in October, then we had this pullback here, and so we're just consolidating above the 50. So just looking for either a continuation play up here or possibly a rest. So Rose, had this new high put in, pulled back here, tried to rally back up, and then pull back again. So I'm not seeing a lot of movement on Rose like we were before, but it is sitting here. It did bounce off the 200, sitting here. This is the 200 down here for 3 days, bounced off there. So hopefully that can continue a rally here. Luna, we hit this high here on our trend line, pulled back here, thought we were going to try to rally back up here, found resistance before we got up to this 94 level and 96 level I thought we were going to get to. So we're sitting here right now around 77. So hopefully we can bounce off this 50 at a minimum and ride this back up to new highs. All right, so FTM, you can see here that we hit our trend line a couple of times here. 368 was the last one. Pull back down here, the lower trend line at 142 or 1142, and then back up here to 3.2. So looking to see if we can get a continuation play either to the north side here, or we may consolidate as we have been for a few days here, right in this range here, 2.9 and 3.2. Looking at one nice rally up here. Here was our highs, came up here to tag close to our highs and then pull back here a little bit. So we'll see if we can sustain this and hopefully, maintain and grow this and actually grow it to new highs. So looking for, play up here, hopefully, beyond this 38, possibly to 4,000 or this upper trend line here, which is sitting around 42. And SCRT, we had a nice little rally here for a few days here, almost a week. So seeing what we can do here, 8, 9. So the highs in here are around 11. So looking for a play up to this 11 level, hopefully with this stock. And so that's our cryptos that we're looking at trading this week. Also the stocks we're looking at. Be careful out there. Watch the VIX. Watch pre-market. We don't know which way the market's going to go right now. We pulled back, then we rallied back up, and so we're just sitting here right at that rally. So hopefully this gives you enough to look for and to trade, and also just use smaller size here. Would be my recommendation. Can't give you trading advice, but my play is smaller sizes until I get confirmation of a continuation trend on the SPY and triple Qs. So looking for that signal, and once we get that signal, then I'll know where I want to trade. Stay safe out there. We'll talk Tuesday night and talk about our trades of the day, see how we're doing, see what we need to adjust. And that way we can continue to remain profitable in this market, so that it doesn't matter if we're going positive or negative or flat. We can always make money in the stock market. So everybody have a great night, and we will talk tomorrow.